Hi all, in this video we'll try to predict the upcoming months for India, the events related to India. So before going to that, let's try to understand the horoscope of India. There are two horoscopes for India generally in the trend. That is one is this 15th August 1947 12 a.m. The birthplace is of course New Delhi. That's the time when India got freedom from the British rulers. So before understanding that, India has a lot of foreign relationships, foreign energy, you can say. It's not foreign relationships, it must be the foreign energy. How can you say that? So before freedom, India was ruled by the British rulers around for 200 years. Just imagine the kind of foreign energy. Another country ruling us for 200 years. And before that, what happened? So before that also it was ruled by the Mughals, the Muslim empire, right, you can say. So for the past hundreds of years, India is ruled by the foreigners, the foreign countries, right, almost for the past you can say 800 years or 1000 years, right. So for the past hundreds of years, India is ruled by foreign countries, except the last 75 years. So even in the 75 years also, it was ruled by Congress, the Congress party, right. So the Congress party also has a lot of foreign energy, if you observe, right. That is one thing. And then in that 70 the past 75 years of freedom also, it's ruled by means not ruled by, it's actually even the ruler Manmohan Singh or whoever you say, it's under the rulership of Sonia Gandhi, you can say in one word. Now, so Sonia Gandhi, before coming to India, of course, she was born and brought up in Italy. She was an Italian, right? You know that. Just imagine the kind of foreign energy India has. That's what I want to say here. Even more, a lot of Indians, they want to go to the foreign countries. A lot of Indians settled in USA. They go to European countries. They go to Australia, right? So they love the foreign countries. They want to settle down in foreign countries. So the kind of foreign energy related to India is really exceptional, you can say. It's infinite energy, infinite foreign energy, can I say that? Because it's a continuous foreign energy that India is experiencing. Now, if you observe this particular birth chart on 15th August 1947, Rahu is sitting in the first house. What is the first house for a country? It's a house of existence, whether the country is going to exist or not. That is the first house. In that first house, Rahu is sitting. Rahu is in Taurus, is in first house here, right? Now, wherever Rahu sits, it gives some problems, right? Whether he is going to give something good or something bad, keep it aside, it is also going to give problems. Let's take the natal astrology, the individual astrology. For a person, if Rahu is sitting in the first house, he may have to work on his attitude, on his behavior, on his health, on his body throughout his life, right? That's his life's purpose. Rahu defines the life's purpose. Let's say Rahu is sitting in the second house. So the person may have to work on wealth. Now there are two things here. The person is going to work on the second house matters, this resources, wealth and family and everything, right? That is the second house things. So here there are two things, whether the person is going to get a lot of wealth or is going to get less wealth. It depends upon the Rahu's dignity. Let's take Aries ascendant. Rahu is sitting in the Taurus. In Taurus also Rahu is sitting in the Rohini nakshatra, which is a moon's nakshatra. So here star lord's dignity is also very much important. When you can say a planet's dignity is very good, you can say it only if the planet is sitting in a very good house. At the same time, its star lord is also well positioned. So if for Aries ascendant, let us say Rahu is in Taurus, that too especially Rahu is in Rohini, then Rohini's lord is moon. Now moon's dignity is also very good. Let us say it's not a waning moon, it's a waxing phase of moon, and the person, let us say he is born at night time when the moon is very much waxing, right? So everything is good. Everything is good. Let us say Aries ascendant, Rahu in Taurus. Generally, people say Rahu exalts in the sign of Taurus. Rahu is comfortable in the signs of Taurus, Gemini, Virgo, and Aquarius, because Rahu's energy is very much similarly attached with these signs. Taurus is the sign of desire, sign of wanting more. It's a sign of resources, right? So Rahu's behavior is also similar to that, and Rahu is very much comfortable in that world of Taurus. And Gemini is a sign of communication, sign of cunningness, sign of observation, observing more, sign of business skills, the communication skills, marketing skills, a focus, concentration, right? The commissioning, documentation stuff. All those things are Gemini. So Rahu is very much comfortable in the Gemini world also. Rahu is also comfortable in the world of Virgo. Virgo is the sign of services. The sign of merchants, sign of selfishness, sign of sharing, sign of getting more money by spending less money, right? This kind of so for merchants also logical thinking is very much required. So Rahu is similar to that. Rahu is comfortable in Virgo. Some people say Rahu's own sign is Virgo. Some people say Rahu's own sign is Aquarius. So Aquarius is also having the energy of Rahu, right? So Rahu can very well fit in Aquarius sign. So Aquarius is a sign of technology. So a lot of gains, expecting more gains. So that kind of energy is present in Aquarius. A lot of social groups, right? So forming some social groups and right in village heads kind of energy. So that is also Aquarius energy. So Rahu is comfortable in Aquarius. Some people say Rahu's own sign is Aquarius. Some people say Rahu exalts in Aquarius, right? There are different discussions. As per Vedic astrology, there is no house allocated for Rahu, but corresponding to its energies, you can say Taurus, Gemini, Virgo, Aquarius. Some people say one of these houses is Rahu's own house. Some people say one of these houses is the house where Rahu exalts. Different discussions. Anyways, one thing we can say, Rahu is comfortable in these signs: Taurus, Gemini, Virgo, and Aquarius. Now, for Aries ascendant, let us say Rahu is sitting in Taurus. Rahu's the star lord, let us say Rahu is sitting in Rohini Nakshatra, where the star lord is Moon. Moon is also very much comfortably placed somewhere in the horoscope. Then you can say Rahu is very nicely placed for that Aries ascendant guy. And then you may expect the person may gain a lot of income, right? Lot of income and the period of Rahu, whether it's Antadasha or Mahadasha, right? Because Rahu is very much comfortable there. But at the same time, even though Rahu is comfortable there, Rahu is going to give a lot of wealth to that guy. Rahu also gives a lot of problems for that guy related to wealth. He has to manage all those things, right? So whether Rahu is nicely placed or not doesn't matter. Rahu is going to give problems related to that house. Same thing happens with the horoscope of India also. Rahu is sitting in Taurus, of course comfortable there, but at the same time Rahu is giving problems with the existence of India, right? How can you say that? After independence, you just imagine how many, even today, there are some issues at the Pakistan and India border. There are some issues with China, right? So at that border, and then you may say some issues with Sri Lanka, some issues with Bangladesh. So the existence, so it is actually continuously fighting, right? for better existence, you can say. That is the impact of Rahu sitting in the first house. Now, one more thing you need to say, even after independence, India fought with China related to these border issues. India fought with Pakistan. Of course, with China, India was, in that battle, that war, you can say, lost some land. And with Pakistan, of course, it won. And even today, India has some issues, the border issues, existence issues. So that is the impact of Rahu. Now, there is another horoscope. Generally, people say, so here Rahu, India is of, Taurus ascendant. There is another horoscope which can also be the horoscope of India. That is, so the other horoscope is of 26 January 1950, that one, okay. So 26 January 1950, why? Because that's the date on which India's constitution came into existence, you can say. So around 10 a.m. you can say, it was of course produced in the Indian Parliament that time in New Delhi. So take that time, so 1950, and it's January 26, India became republic. That time you can say it's 10 a.m. New Delhi is the time. New Delhi is the place of birth. Even if you consider that birth chart, Rahu, sitting in the sign of Pisces. So the sign of Pisces, Rahu is not at all comfortable, and even more, even you can see, most of the people consider this particular horoscope. Rahu is sitting in the sign of Revati, in the nakshatra of Revati, which is a Mercury nakshatra. And if you see the Mercury's dignity, it is sitting in the 10th house. Right? So fine, Mercury is sitting in the 10th house in the sign of Sagittarius. It's a kind of, so Rahu and Mercury is also, they don't have any kind of enmity. Rahu is not comfortable in Pisces, but its star lord is comfortable in the sign of, in the 10th house at least. Mercury's dignity is okay here, fine. So Rahu, star lords, Rahu is sitting in a sign, in a nakshatra, that is Revati nakshatra. Revati nakshatra is a kind of auspicious nakshatra. And Rahu, wherever it sits, it is going to expand that energy. So here Rahu is expanding the energy of Revati nakshatra. It's a good thing. So it's a nice thing. That's why India is still, it's existing, and it is actually showing path of excellence also for some countries, you can say that, right? But at the same time, as Rahu is sitting in the first house, it has problems, right, with the existence, especially the border issues. You can really relate in this way. Now totally, so India can be of two ascendants. One can be the Taurus ascendant, another can be the Pisces ascendant, and most of the people consider India is of Pisces ascendant, because Pisces is the sign of sacrifice, sign of spirituality, right? So India has a lot of spirituality in its way of behaving and way of thinking and everything, right? So Pisces can be the better ascendant, and also India is sacrificing in nature, right? Spiritualism, you just imagine, India has so many spiritual masters and everything. So Pisces ascendant can be the better ascendant for India. And Rahu is sitting there, and so there are some problems with existence. India has more foreign energy, as we discussed, right? So for the past 100 years, India was ruled by the foreign rulers, except the last 75 years. In that last 75 years also, under the control of a Congress party, which is having so much of foreign energy. especially the time of Sonia Gandhi, right? That you can just imagine the kind of foreign energy India has. Uh, Indians love to go to the foreign countries. They love to settle there, right? The foreign energy is very much concentrated in India. Now, even more, there are so many foreign travelers come to India and they visit India. It happens with every country, but you know, uh, you can just relate the foreign energy of India with its pre-independence era and also the post-independence in the 75 years of Congress party, and you know, this one. And whenever India has, so what India really needs, so a particular country has some problems with existence, so what it really needs, it needs a powerful leader, right? Powerful leader having a lot of patriotism, right? And then only India can exist better. Now, current days people are just talking about Narendra Modi, who is actually a powerful leader, right? So, in this way, you can say because of Modi, India has some kind of power now. But at the same time, India has a scarcity in leadership. So, except one or two leaders in India, there is no leadership currently, no active leadership, except Narendra Modi ji or some Yogi Adityanath or Amit Shah, right? There are 2-3 leaders. In that also, Modi ji and Yogi ji, these two people have, you know, some command, some kind of charisma, you can say. But other than those two, you know, India is really having some kind of difficult time. No leadership in India. Biggest problem, except Modi ji and Yogi ji. So why we are actually, you know, trying to understand the future of India at this point of time? Because let us say most probably India's ascendant is Pisces only, Pisces ascendant. So Pisces ascendant Lord is Jupiter. Now, if you consider the upcoming planetary positions, especially the April some 24, if you see now, okay, so 2022, look at Jupiter here. Jupiter is in Pisces, very much comfortable, but this Jupiter is under pressure. The 3 planets this side and the 4 planets this side. So Jupiter is completely under pressure, you can say. But at the same time, Jupiter is in Pisces, which is a kind of sacrificing in nature, and also it's a kind of religious there, religious sacrifices, sacrificing in nature. And Pisces is currently actually is going to be under pressure 24th April onwards, even before that you can say. So Jupiter is at the center, and all the planets are really playing with Jupiter kind of stuff, right? But at the same time, Jupiter is in its own house in the sign of Pisces, very much comfortable there, but doing some kind of, it's sacrificing in nature, very much sacrificing in nature. So what can happen in the month of April or in the month of May? Because whenever there is a planetary energy established on the earth, in order to take its form, it takes some days of time, and sometimes it takes some months of time in order to shape it up, right? In order for the energy to get a shape, it takes some months of time also, not more than 3 months, right? After 3 months you may not experience the same energy. Now not more than 3 to 4 months, you can say. Now this Jupiter is going to be under pressure because of so many issues, you can say. If you just see the Pisces ascendant, what are the malefic planets for Pisces ascendant? The first one is the Sun, second one is Venus, and third one is Saturn. These three are the malefic planets for Pisces ascendant. That's why whenever Saturn is traversing the sign of Capricorn, India is having some troubles. India is having some kind of troubles for sure. Especially that Saturn, if it is in conjunction with Jupiter, India, you just see the history. Whenever Jupiter is in Capricorn and Saturn is also in Capricorn, then India is going to have problems for sure. That is the first thing. Because Saturn is a malefic planet for India, and that too if it is sitting in the sign of gains, that is in Capricorn, so gains are going to be lost. The same thing happens every time for India. And that too, the ascendant Lord Jupiter is also debilitated in the sign of Capricorn. Jupiter debilitates in the sign of Capricorn. Then yes, India has some trouble. Now, Saturn is in Capricorn, so India is having some kind of problems going on, right, compared to the normal days. Especially if you observe the 2021 picture, Jupiter was in Capricorn, debilitated. Just imagine the situation. It was horrible, right? So that is one thing you need to observe. Now, in the month of April, the malefic Sun is traversing here just after Jupiter in the sign of Aries, with the malefic Rahu here. And another one is the Venus. Venus is also in the 9th house. 9th house in the sense, here it is showing 9, but it is in the sign of Aquarius, which is a 12th house for Pisces. Let me make it Pisces as the first house here. Okay. Now this is a clear picture, right? Sun here, Venus here, and just below Venus you have Saturn. So as Saturn is also sitting in the 11th house, India is having some problems with gains. And if Jupiter is also in Capricorn, then it is going to be a very bigger problem, because Jupiter joining the malefic Saturn is always a troublesome period for India. Here this particular Jupiter is under the attack of Sun, Venus and Saturn. So India is going to be under pressure in the month of April, in the month of May also. Now Rahu is also present there, just after Jupiter, Rahu and Sun, right? So the kind of pressure is mainly related to, it can be related to religion, because Jupiter is a religious planet and it becomes more religious when it is in the sign of Pisces. The sign Pisces shows religious sacrifices. So that is one thing we can predict. And India is going to have problems related to the expenditure mainly. The budget of the country is going to be a very big problem, and that is very much justified. That can be very much justified with a practical scenario also. And look at the second house of India, is the wealth of India, resources of India. So the resources of India are going to be having some kind of troublesome, going to experience some kind of troublesome period for the next 1.5 years, right? Why for 1.5 years? Because Rahu is transiting Aries for the next 1.5 years, and India, being a Pisces ascendant nation, is going to experience the problems in the second house matters. Second house is the house of wealth of a country. Now, second house is going to experience a lot of problems here, and obviously that's going to start in the month of April. So second house, the resources are under really under pressure for the 1.5 years. So the next 1.5 years from April 2022, that means around 2024 June, right? April, it's 2023 April 1 year, and then 2023 end, you can say, right? So 2023 November, till that time, India is going to experience a lot of troubles with respect to the resources. And Jupiter being under pressure for the next 1 year, because whenever Jupiter transits a particular sign, it transits for 1 year, right? So for the next 1 year, just imagine it's going to have some problems with its existence. The border issues will rise. That is a probability, very much. It's probable, right? Because the ascendant Lord himself is going to be under pressure. And look at this Saturn. The Saturn is going to move to the sign of Aquarius by the end of April, most probably, and that is where the border issues are going to rise and up. Just imagine the Jupiter is under pressure, this side Rahu and this side the malefic Saturn. Both are really, what you can say, they are giving a lot of pressure to this Jupiter. And even Venus is also joining there, the malefic Venus. At least the malefic Venus is exalted there, so at least there is a kind of, you can say there's a kind of concession, we say, but at the same time, the Rahu this side in Aries, Saturn in Aquarius, which is also going to be the Mula Trikona house of Saturn. So here one important dictum we need to mention: whenever a malefic planet is sitting in its Mula Trikona house, it may not be very much harmful. That is one relief statement for India, right? So whenever a malefic planet is sitting in its Mula Trikona house, it may not harm much. It harms a bit, but it may not be very much harmful. That is that dictum here. So because Saturn's own houses are Capricorn and Aquarius, in that Aquarius is the Mula Trikona house of Saturn. So just imagine this particular malefic Saturn for India, which is traversing the Mula Trikona house, may not be very much harmful, but at the same time it is harmful, right? And this particular Rahu is it's malefic here in nature, and Rahu Saturn in between the Jupiter, the Pisces under pressure. So border issues and the problems with the resources, because Rahu is sitting in the second house, that is Aries, because India is of Pisces ascendant. So resources, border issues, problems with resources and border issues, and expenditure, more expenditure. That is a problem that we can clearly see here for India, right? So thanks for watching this particular video.